evening, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar this evening. We do appreciate your time because I know you could be in many places this evening. My name is Rose Sang. I am a member of Women on Boards, and I'll be moderating today's session. So before we kick off, allow us to share today's agenda. Hannah, do you mind projecting that on the screen, please? And while she does, just a few housekeeping rules. Kindly put your mic on mute so that then we can be able to focus on the presenters. You do have a chat box at the bottom of your screen. Please put your comments, your questions, and we'll be sifting them through so that we are able to channel them to the presenters for purposes of question and answer at the end of today's session. So in terms of the agenda, we will be having our guest speaker, and we shall be introducing her very shortly. Thereafter, we'll have some energizers in the middle of the presentations, a couple of videos as well, just to keep us engaged. And then thereafter, we'll have the question and answer session going forward. Well, finance, personal finance. Financial management is really a daunting and continuous task that can cause even the most economically savvy individual to become confused and short-sighted. Indeed, in a world where assets and investments move quickly and linking our bank accounts to all the services that there are, making purchases at the touch of a button, personal financial management is a trickier concept than ever before. So to make the most of our money at our disposal, this requires constant strategic thinking. And so today's session is really about coming together as members of Women on Boards, as well as other participants who may be joining us from across the world, to not only network and share experiences, but also talk matters wealth creation. And to kick us off, we have Madam Chemutai Murgor. She is the Executive Director, Finance Kenya, the Regional CFO, East Africa, and a board member of Standard Chartered Kenya. We couldn't have had a more able speaker to be speaking this evening around wealth creation. So karibu sana Chemutai, the platform is yours.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody. It's a great opportunity to grab a bit of your time this evening so that we can really share as women and our families, how do we create wealth? So I thank you for joining us and taking off time from your busy schedules. So allow me just to share a few things about Standard Chartered so that as we go through the session, you really connect with us. So Standard Chartered Bank, we landed on the shores of Mombasa in 1911. Our first branch is Treasury Square. We still have that branch. We moved on into Nairobi, and our second branch was Kenyatta Avenue. I'm sure many of you have still seen that branch. So our roots are really deep in Kenya. We've been part of the story of Kenya for the last 100 years. And we are here for good, so to speak. We are a listed entity. We have over 30,000 shareholders. I'm sure some of you are shareholders in Standard Chartered Bank. We are the oldest bank, actually, international foreign bank in Kenya. Globally, we are present in 59 markets. We have over 85,000 colleagues across the world. We like to say that we are a network, and we are a network bank. And we serve customers in close to over 150 markets worldwide. We have a minority shareholding of about 25.6%. And so we are one of the first listed entities at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. We do have a network of branches across Kenya. Currently we have 22. We have This also supplemented by 3 sales and service centers with over 100 ATMs and cash deposit machines. We have been digitizing, as we had our customers also saying, we want to go on the digital journey. So that is part of the convenience. More recently, we've launched what we would call our digital bank and the digital journey. And it has been a great platform. I know my colleagues will do justice to that later in the conversation as to how we could better serve you through that platform. We really value diversity as an organization. Diversity and inclusion is a key agenda, of course, in boardrooms. I know many of you are either serving in boards or are aspiring board members. So remember these 4 things as you embark on your journey. As a board member, your critical things is really to craft the strategy of your organization, manage the risk of your organization, and really build the culture of the organization. But you need people to do all that. So I know you have all been learning about that, but if I just simplify, that is really the journey we would want to go into the boardroom. So coming back to diversity and inclusion, we're really proud of what we have achieved ourselves. We've done a lot of things on the diversity front, and we've won recognition around that. In fact, we have had 2 women board chairs. Our current serving board chair is Kellen Kariuki. And so we really value that. And I think there is a lot of space for women to really participate in the board. Let me just spend a few minutes just really saying who I am and what I have done. I will just spend a minute. I have been with the bank for 20 years. So an accountant, but now converted banker. I've been finance director since 2007, and I've been a board member as well since that time. We have subsidiaries, and I sit also in the subsidiaries. But more importantly, I've also really taken on some board opportunities that have come to be able to serve the community. I've served at Insurance Regulatory Authority, and I've also served at university, Jaramogi Oginga University. So I have done my bit to really also support the growth of the human capital in Kenya. Why are we here today? Let me just link it. I know as individuals, as you pursue your, endeavor to be board members or are board members already, I know you want to really improve your brand out there. And really, what I would urge you is look at yourself as an entity. What I do myself is I say, I really admire the corporate governance that we put around Standard Chartered Bank or any other entity. Look at yourself as an entity. Look at the corporate governance that you have around your entity so that if you are listed tomorrow at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, what will your value be? And that means you attract the right board of directors for yourself to drive your career. You have somebody, to talk to you about maybe brand presence. You have somebody to talk about how to increase your wealth, and today I think we will touch on that. So what I'm just saying is for you to grow as well as an individual, you must also think about how you grow your wealth as the way organizations also grow their wealth, right? So today we are here really to share some of the things that we know here. Sorry. So why are we here today? We are here today really to share some of our experience, our knowledge, and what we do in the financial services to further that journey of wealth creation for everybody, really. It is not for a few. We can really touch your lives from all angles. So I know my colleagues will really take you through that journey. So we really also want to take a big stand, coming back to the diversity and inclusion and really lifting participation. And we are really keen to lift participation of women. We know women are making great strides in the workplace, in the communities, and we want to really share our journey on wealth creation so that you leave a legacy in future for your children. So today, my colleagues from our consumer and private and business banking unit will explain how we serve individuals. We also serve small businesses or small medium enterprises. And we will really take you through, wealth creation, wealth growth, and wealth preservation. Today, I hear the biggest trend, particularly in the West, is that there is a big generation that is just about to pass wealth to the next generation. So we are thinking also long-term, what will when will that movement come into Kenya and we pass, the biggest wealth pot to the next generation? So we want to be partners in your journey, and we hope you will take away a lot of things, and I'm sure, no doubt, we will continue engaging in this important topic. So let me not waste a lot of time. Let me invite my colleagues, the experts. I will invite Catherine. She's very passionate about it, and I'm sure you will learn a lot today. Thank you very much, and we hope that you will really learn a lot from us. Thank you.
And I'll try and cover as much as I can. And I'll also hand over to my colleague, Paul. So we do have one man in the team. Chemtai did say that we are diverse. And as much as we have women, we also have some of the men who work with us. So after this will be my colleague, Paul Njoki, and he'll take us about wealth creation. Now, a lot of people actually ask me, why Standard Chartered? Why would you bank with Standard Chartered? Why not any other bank? And I always say, we have one job, and one principal job is to make you grow your wealth. And as soon as you grow your wealth, we want to ensure that you're able to protect that wealth, because you've worked so hard for that money. The protection of that wealth becomes extremely, extremely critical. Underpinned by all that, we are definitely a bank, and we do have the normal banking transaction services that we give, but we do have a very strong customer value proposition that we give to our customers. And it's based on 5 key pillars. And I won't take time, I'll just go through them very quickly. And I think we'll also have another chance to come and speak to you directly on each of those pillars. I think also our email and our phone numbers will be shared, so that after this, would love to have a very one-on-one conversation with every one of you to raise any questions that you had, or for us to continue these conversations either with yourselves or even in the boards that you sit in. Because in addition to this, we do have a very strong employee banking relationship that allows us to speak to the employees of the boards and the companies that you're sitting in. And we offer that very, very, very good packages through that proposition. So back to where we are here today. I will be talking to you about our affluent proposition, in particular, the priority banking and what we do offer. So like I said, it's based on 5 key pillars. And the first pillar that we think and we're so passionate about is health. And I think if COVID taught us anything, it is to be prepared and to always know what can come and to prepare for that. So we partnered with AMREF, Flying Doctor Service, and for a very small fee of 2,000 shillings to 5,000 shillings, we arrange for you a very good evacuation service for anywhere within Kenya. And that can be by air or by road. Now, because you're a Standard Chartered, if you're a Standard Chartered customer, you pay only 2,000 Kenya shillings for Kenya. The fee goes up to almost 5,000 shillings for anywhere within East Africa for evacuation. Now that you don't have to, you really have to be with Standard Chartered to enjoy the discounted price that we have. I've seen some of my customers take it and it has worked wonders for them. I'd encourage any one of you, if you're thinking about protecting yourself, that is also a very good something that we're offering. Additionally to this is, of course, we do offer the normal insurance, which helps you cover. And like I said, my colleague Paul Njoki will talk a lot more detail about some of the insurance offerings that we help you to cover yourself and to cover your health needs as and when the need does arise. The other pillar that we have, and I think the ad that was showed, which didn't come out very clearly, is the pillar on education. Now, if I backtrack a little bit, I will say that these pillars, we came with them out of a very in-depth research that we did with our customers about 1.5 years ago. And based on this, we came up with these pillars. And one thing the customers told us is we worry about the education of our children. So how do I pay for them? We looked at the age of our clients and they're about 40 and above. And the biggest need that came up is when my child has finished the junior education here, and perhaps I want to take them abroad, we don't quite understand all the needs that they need for them to prepare themselves to go out of the country to study. And so we partnered with UNICEF. And what UNICEF does is talk to your children anywhere between the ages of 13 to about 18 and a maximum of 20 years. And they take them through what subjects do you like? What do you enjoy doing? What do you plan to do? And after you've understood that, they then show you the options. I don't know if a lot of you are like me, but initially the options I used to know are just the US and the UK. And not that those are bad, but they open a whole world of opportunities. The world has now become a very small village, and they're able to show you, even in Italy, which is known for culinary arts. There are schools there that offer even business education, and they offer them in partnership. And some of those schools even offer English. So it has been a big eye opener for myself and some of our customers who've been able to take it. So we've done that partnership. The best thing is that it is offered absolutely free of charge. We don't charge the customer. There's no charge for the customer. Your children can go there and they can get all this information. Now, the best news that I like is that even the parents get a chance to understand some of these countries and understand some of the subjects which their children like and what can really happen if they go abroad. And it takes them as far as even giving them a possible accommodation places, distances of travel, and also helping them get the right exams that are needed to be taken before you fly out of the country. So it's a very good broad-based package that we've covered in this area of education. Additionally, for those of us who may be in this country and may be deciding that whether they want to further their own education or further the education of their children, we also offer that. Those are very localized solutions. And any one of our RMs can be able to take you in depth about what we offer and how we can support you through that journey. Now, the biggest pillar I love about our CVP now, I'll get on, is the pillar about convenience. Now, if you will allow me to brag a little bit, because it is true, I will undoubtedly say that Standard Chartered has the best digital platforms. Out of your phone, when Paul talks to you about our wealth offering, you can buy, you can sell, you can be able to tell how you're doing every single day. You can log on 10 times a day. You can see how your wealth, whatever you've bought, how your bonds are doing, how they're faring out there. You can be able to check the exchange rates that we have if you're interested in Forex. Everything is on the touch of a phone. And all you have to do as a Standard Chartered customer is to download our app. And once you download, there's a multitude of things. I know customers, myself included, who have not entered the bank since the period of COVID. If your card gets stolen, you go and log it there. You want to change your checkbook, for those of you who might want to use checkbooks, you just apply it for them. Any need you have, we're solving it through our app. And that's why, under no uncertain terms and unashamedly, I would say that Standard Chartered has a fantastic digital platform. And this applies not only to individual customers, it also applies to our business customers. If you're sitting and you're in a board of a business, we have a very good platform called S2B. Again, it is unmatched. It helps you do a multiplicity of services, including how you even pay your salaries. It manages your payroll for you. It helps you with KRA payments, so on and so forth. It's so easy. Once you download it, we help you set it up, and we are always there to help you. If you're on the business side, we're also there to help you. Just make sure that it's working well, and we have very open lines for you. So that's on the convenience pillar. We try and make your banking absolutely seamless. Now, the beauty about being in priority is that we also give you a relationship manager. And I know you might say, yes, I also have a relationship manager somewhere else, but our relationship managers are backed by what we call investment advisors, who are very well trained locally and internationally, and they're also backed by insurance specialists. Now, Paul will talk a little bit about that, but just to suffice to say that any of our teams, the research that goes on and the way we keep training them so that they're best in class and they're able to give you a lot of knowledge that you might not find on ANRA, but at any time you can be able to get that. Now, additionally, and on the pillar of convenience, we also have a 24-hour contact center. Now, if you're in priority banking, you have a separate line, which is picked up faster. It is easier, it's easier to get through. It has more lines. So you're able, whatever need you get, if you can't get it through your app, you're in a place, maybe you dropped your phone and something has happened to you, you can actually call our contact center. We get calls of customers saying, I've lost my card, so we block the card. I've traveled, my card is not working. Any need you have, just call the contact center. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Another easy way we're making customers, another easy way that we use to serve our customers locally and internationally. So wherever you are, you're able to log in and to know what you need to know as far as your banking is concerned. Now, there's also the pillar we talk about on financial independence. And this is why I started by saying, why Standard Chartered? Because we help you grow your wealth and then we help you protect that wealth. Now, on financial independence, I won't talk too much about it because my colleague Paul will talk into detail. What is it that we help you around our wealth offering? But I will touch one, which is on the mortgage pillar, because we believe that if you own your own house, if you own your own home, that is part of financial independence. We have a very good mortgage that we give you, including a construction mortgage. We do have very competitive interest rates, and we also buy off from other banks. If you're somewhere else and you're not very happy, we're happy to have a conversation with you and tell you, move, work with us, we will work with you, and we will see how we can get that mortgage with us. We can adjust the repayment, we can extend the repayment period for you, all so that we can make owning your own home such a pleasure and such a beautiful thing for any one of us to do. And we also look at upgrading the homes that we have under our mortgage pillar. So if you have a home and you want to upgrade it, you want to do some renovation, we are always doing that with many of our customers. So that is what I will touch on the financial pillar. Paul, coming in after me, will expound a little bit more on the wealth pillar, which is extremely critical for any of our priority clients. Now, finally, the fifth pillar is on lifestyle and comfort. One of the things that the feedback that our customers have told us is that their lifestyle matters to them. And they want to have the same lifestyle they're having when they're working to the time when they retire. So what do we offer them under the lifestyle pillar? We do have a very strong Visa Infinite card. And the Visa Infinite card is offered only to priority banking clients. And with this card, you're able to get a lot of protection. Supposing you travel, you get some of your travel insurance out of it just by having this card. Should you travel, you get access to some of the lounges that are there. And all you have to do is give your priority card. In the event that you may be flying economy and not business class, the card allows you to get in some of these places you can. Now, the Visa Infinite card also allows you to accumulate points every time you use your card. You accumulate double the points that you would if you didn't have a Visa Infinite card. Now, the beauty is these cards are exchanged in so many places. The one I love the most is that you can actually exchange your points and shop in Amazon. I didn't know how easy it was until I actually took my points. I did some Amazon shopping and the goods were delivered to me. Obviously, you have to have your courier to where their things are going to be taken. So if you do shop in Amazon It is a fantastic place to be able to redeem your points. Now, if you have any questions about where you can redeem and what your card can do for you, it's so easy on our platform. Standard Chartered, just go onto our Standard Chartered website, download Priority Banking. It will be so easy for you. Just go onto Priority Banking and it will give you all the information about where you can use your card, where you can redeem your card, how you get your points. All that is detailed there. So I don't want to take too much time and say, and talk too much about that because it is on our website. Now, finally, I will say, if you're not a member of Standard Chartered, I would really, really welcome you to Standard Chartered. I would ask that you speak to myself. I hope my contacts will be left here. And any one of the people who may have organized this, we're very happy to receive you. We would want to walk the journey with you, whatever situation you are. Maybe you're in another bank and you're thinking about how to move, how to get another bank. We're there for you and we are committed to walk with you and your families. The other big pillar we have, which might not be part of the CVP, but also comes in extremely important, is the fact that in priority banking, we bank you and your families. So you're able, if you want to know what's happening with your children, able to start the generation passing of wealth to them, we offer that service very, very well for our customers. So I'll stop there. And I'll hand over now to Paul Njoki. Like I said, please do allow one of the gentlemen to speak to a women's forum. He's a very knowledgeable young man. I have had a great pleasure working with him as he has also made me wealthy and also helped me protect my wealth. So thank you all for listening and let me welcome Paul Njoki.
Thank you,
Thank you
Catherine.
very much, Kathy. Let me check if you can hear.
Yes, we can hear you, Paul. We were hoping that we would, as you're getting ready, run a short poll just to interlude a little bit and have people a little engaged within the platform. I hope you don't mind that. We can take the time for you to grab a quick coffee, but in the meantime, Hannah, would you like to share the poll so that we can go through it very quickly, see what the participants and the audience think about some of the issues that have been raised? Indeed, Standard Chartered is here for good. Hannah, are we ready?
Just hold on a moment. Just find out.
Rose, just a minute.
Okay. All right. So as Hannah projects that, we can see lots of comments coming through. Catherine's email is
just
already in the chat, so you can access it from there. Deborah says, you know, for sure, Standard Chartered is lit on digital platforms. So thank you for those compliments. We really must go and try it. Eva says, you know, Catherine is 100% correct around the digital platform. It's an excellent service and she certainly would not bank anywhere else. Elizabeth says it's an interesting conversation. She has the app, but hasn't explored it much. So the aspects around shopping on Amazon is clearly on her bucket list. So Elizabeth, we'll be looking to you to tell us how that experience is as we go forward. So Hannah, are we ready with the poll?
Rose, if you could kindly assist me pull up the poll. For some reason, it's telling me it's an inactive on my end, but it is set up.
Okay. So I have launched it. I don't know whether participants can be able to see it. Can you see the poll?
Click the launch, the blue button.
Yes, I have launched it. It's already starting. Is it on?
Not
can we
yet
see the
on
poll?
My end.
Yes, I can actually see it. Lots of people responding. And the question is, which of this describes your investment personality? Is it aggressive, risk averse, conservative, moderate? So far, I can see moderate is leading at 48%. Risk averse, very low. I don't know whether if these were the male gender, it would be different, but perhaps that's a conversation for another day. So which of these describes your investment personality? Aggressive, risk averse, conservative, and moderate. I will leave it for another 30 seconds so that then we can have the scores with us. Well, it looks like we have a winner. A majority, 49%, say that they are moderate. I don't know, Catherine, whether this is a good or a bad. Sometimes you hear high risk, high return. But for today, it looks like that's the answer for this session. Do we have another question, Hannah?
Yes, Rose, we do. We have poll number 2. If you stop that, you'll see poll number 2.
All right.
And 3.
So if you could share the results, that's it. I haven't seen the poll number 2. So that's the second question. Let me now launch it. And the question here is, Standard Chartered Investment Services Limited has recently been awarded highest corporation tax yield by the President of Kenya. Is that true, false, or I don't know? So far, I can see true at 63, 64%. I don't know at 42%. Clearly, the false part is at 0%. So lots of credibility to the bank at this juncture. So we'll let it run for another for another 30 seconds before we can stop. So if I may share the results right there. The question is, Standard Chartered Investment Services Limited has recently been awarded highest corporation tax yield by the President of Kenya. And 56% of us think that it is true. 44% say, I don't know. So Catherine, what are your thoughts around this? Do we have an answer for it?
Okay, so Paul is here, so I'm gonna take over from here, from Catherine. So good evening, everyone. So let me start with the first question, which was about which of the choices describe your investment style or risk appetite. And the answer is what you answered, because everybody has their unique way of approaching investments. And I'll be discussing that during my presentation. So all the answers were correct. On the second question, the answer is true, yes. So Standard Chartered Investment Services received an award during the Taxpayers' Day from the President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, His Excellency, for an organization that has paid most taxes as a proportion of their income. So we are making a contribution to our country as a good corporate citizen. And I think I'll take it up from here now. If you could just display the presentation.
Are you showing?
Okay, I'll just wait for the presentation to show. Okay, so thank you very much. As I've been introduced, my name is Paul Njoki. I head wealth management business for Kenya and East Africa. And it's my privilege to be to serve you in this capacity. So what does wealth management do? So wealth management is here to help our clients create, grow, and protect their wealth. And what we say is that our clients' priorities are indeed our priority. So when we start to have a discussion with a client about wealth creation, the first thing is to understand what is the need for our client? What are they looking for? And the second thing is we want to know what is their style of investing. So, and that's the question that was asked earlier. And then after that, then we curate investment ideas, investment actions from across the world, right here in Kenya, to help the client actually fulfill that goal. The next thing we also do is to say, how do we help our clients to protect that wealth? Because it's one thing to create wealth, it's one thing to grow it, but it's another actually to protect it. And you have to do a conscious decision to say, I want to protect my wealth. So I'll start off by just sharing some bit of insights from our Global Wealth Expectancy report, which is just out. It's available on our website, but I'll just share a few things. So we've just completed a survey across the world. And this is a survey we do every year. And last year we didn't do it though, because of COVID. But now we've done the first survey post-COVID. And there are a couple of really interesting things. So we surveyed 10 countries, Kenya included. And this is what we saw from our affluent clients. Firstly, 44% said that they are keen about improving their personal health, which is kind of obvious because with the COVID, there's a lot of consciousness around improving personal health. 39%, they wanted to improve And these are new goals they've said they have picked up. They want to improve their children's future, or rather they want to make sure that their children's future is taken care of. They are also saying that they want 38% want to have a comfortable retirement. So retirement is becoming a key objective for our clients. And of course, improve lifestyle and wellness. And then of course, Kathy mentioned about how we help you ensure that you have a good lifestyle. Now we look at between then what goals that the clients have chosen, or the priorities that they have, vis-a-vis how they are faring on in terms of building their capacity, building their wealth towards a goal. And we say, what is the confidence gap? And we see the affluent, the emerging affluent have a 47% confidence gap. That means between what their aspiration is vis-a-vis how their wealth is building up, there's a gap. And of course, the high net worth has a lesser gap, which is 30%. If you could go to the next slide, I'll just show you another few more insights. Okay, so then obviously that confidence gap really get us to see a few more insights. Is retirement at risk? And I think the answer is yes. We find that 35% of our respondents had not saved enough for retirement, okay? Yet, they are anticipating that they will depend on the income to fund their retirement. So we actually see a very interesting gap there that we need to come in and solve. And then the other thing is about proactivity in terms of investing. So we found that 94% of our respondents who had made changes in their goals are feeling much better in terms of how they are approaching the future. So those are some of the insights we are getting. Kenya was part of the survey. So this survey is representative of our country. So if you could go to the next slide now, I just gonna get into a few things around what we actually do. So we want to start the topic around diversification. And if you go to the next slide, it's very important that as we invest, we actually diversify. Now, I try to connect this topic with the topic of women on board. And really there are some statistics around what diversity, that is in gender and of course in ethnicity, really brings in terms of management and company performance. You can actually see 15%, 21%, 25% in terms of extra, in terms of financial performance that comes out as a result of companies actually having a diverse board, okay, of having diverse management. So it's very important. So the key here is diversity gives an alpha performance. It adds into performance. So it's actually a very good thing. If you get to the next slide, I'll show you. So how then would you look at the investment world? And if you go to the next slide, if you look at the investment world, how do you actually diversify? Now, this slide is one of the most interesting slides, and again, very busy. I'm not expecting that you'll actually read through the content of this, just stay a little bit. But what I would like you to see, just the previous slide, the very busy slide, I want to make one point there. Just the previous slide, please. Okay, as she finds the slides, basically that slide is really busy and basically it has a lot of colors, right? And what that slide is telling us is that we are trying to say what was the asset category, what was the investment that performed best in a particular year, and we've looked 20 years back. And that research is showing, if you look at just the colors the way they are popping on the screen, in the first year it was like a light blue at the top, then a purple, then a lighter blue like that. But then if you look across, you actually see something that was top performing in the first year there actually could be the least performing in another year. And something that was not well performing, like you can see the red was the least performing in the first year, but then it was second performing in the consecutive 4 years, right? But this actually tells you that it's absolutely very difficult to actually pick one thing and say, this is what's gonna make me money. It's very difficult. Even the experts are not able to do that. And that tells us why it is important to actually diversify your investments. It's absolutely important to diversify your wealth, okay? So then that's where Standard Chartered comes in. How do we help you to diversify your wealth? We go to the next slide. And we look at the various things that we do from an investment world. to bring them close to you here in Kenya. Now, the first thing is we go out and make sure we get many fund managers globally who are topmost in their respective areas and curate that. We also make sure that we check
Hannah, did we unmute?
I can't hear Paul.
Yeah, I can't hear Paul either. Paul, perhaps you muted yourself? Can we try and unmute him, Hannah?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you, Paul. Go ahead.
Sorry, where did you miss me from? Sorry.
We left you at, just the slide speaking about the various investments.
Okay. Sorry about that. So what we do is we go and work with fund managers across the world. We curate specific investments that are top performing in the various markets, and we bring them here into Kenya. So that's one way of bringing diversity. And the second thing is we actually bring different currencies. So you not only invest in shillings here in Kenya, but you can also invest in US dollars, pounds, euros, okay? The other thing we also do is we know that you may not be able to have a lot of money to put in one go, okay? So we diversified across time, and time is a very good judge when it comes to investing. So regular savings plan is actually a plan that we set up for you so that you invest on a monthly basis. And as low as $100, it's about 10,000 shillings, you can be able to get yourself an investment across the world, right? So that we are able to set up for you here. Again, we also help you diversify between, you may be looking for income. So you want something that will earn you some income today. So we give you investment that actually returns dividend on a monthly basis, or some other people may be interested to just accumulate their wealth over a period of time. Maybe they need it for school education or for retirement. So again, we can be able to get you dividend paying investment. Also, we can give you investment that actually accumulate and they don't pay dividend. But the last but not least, and very important now, is environmental, social, and governance investing, ESG, or what we call sustainable investing. This is a big concept. The world now is very clear and keen to ensure that whatever we do is actually sustainable. So in Stanchart Kenya here, we have 17 different investment options for our clients here that they can actually invest in, say, water, in terms of sustainable energy generation, industry that are going to capture the next wave of investing when it comes to sustainability. So we are able to diversify for you in that category as well. Now, let's keep going. I just want to cover a bit of material and then I'll open up for question and answer. If you could go to the next slide. So we've gone through that. We select that for you. Now, this is very important, and really this is what then connects. So this is our cup of tea now. We need to take it together. In Standard Chartered, one of the big things that we do is to understand our client. As I mentioned, the first thing is we want to understand you, okay? Because we understand that not all investment will be suitable for you. The world has so many things, but only a certain types of investment will be appropriate for you because of your own life circumstances. And what we have here is a general life graph. And we all don't have to go through these. Some people get to others to some stages earlier than others, but generally, you start early, education, marriage, kids, you get a home, but ultimately there will be a retirement and there will be what we call the post-retirement life. And what happens is, as you see those bars going, is how your requirement for cash is. The older you become, the more you need to live. The more you need, the more money you need, the more cash flow you need. And you can see in the later part of life, medical expenses become a big question. When you retire, then definitely you're not earning if say, for example, salary, so you have to rely on what you actually saved and invested to be able to pay for your living expenses. So this is very important. And of course, to afford a lifestyle, all of us would like to travel, would like to play golf and other sports and really enjoy ourselves. So this is very important. And it's absolutely critical that you establish what do you really want to achieve and where are you, so that we start the conversation and we see which investment options are good for you. Now I'll go through the remaining slide much quicker. If you could just get to the next slide. Okay, I've already discussed this in terms of our investment process. So I think I'll just jump that and we can go to the next. Okay, so what options then do we have? And this is just in a quick summary. We have mutual funds, as I've mentioned. We also call them unit trust. In this space, you can invest both lump sum. It's $1,000 to get in lump sum. That's 100,000 shillings. If you want to do a monthly plan, it's 10,000 shillings or $100. So it's very easy to get there. We also have fixed income securities bonds. So in the bond space, we can give you Kenya shilling bonds in Kenya here, issued by the government of Kenya. We can also get you any bond as long as it's traded in a market in the world, any bond. And I underline, I repeat, any bond traded in any market in the entire world, we can be able to get it to you right here in Kenya. Then, of course, we do foreign exchange. And the reason why foreign exchange is part of our wealth management is that we help our clients to navigate currencies so that you reduce your cost for currency. Remember, we are doing investment in foreign currency. We want to diversify you across the world. So how you trade the currencies is very, very important. And we ensure that we do this digitally. We set it up on your mobile app at a really small margin so that you're able to navigate currencies much easier. And of course, wealth lending. You know, one of the things we've learned, and this is the latest product that we've launched here, is that clients want to invest for the long term, but they want to be able to address short-term liquidity needs. So if, for example, I have put 10 million shillings in an investment for about 10 years, of course, so that it makes sense for me, that's not to say that it is fixed for 10 years. It means that the plan is 10 years, but of course you can get in and get out anytime. But I don't want to keep getting in and out because that would distort the portfolio, distort the investment. But if I needed 2 million very quickly, now in the evening for some emergency, what do I need to do? So what we do as part of wealth management is we mark a limit on your investment, a cash limit on your investment, so that if you needed 2 million right now, you just get it. There's no arrangement fee. We set it up for you, and we only charge you for the amount you use for the number of days you use it. It is as simple as that. I know some clients come and say, are you sure there is no arrangement fee? Are you sure you are not going to charge me something else? And the answer is absolutely no. If you use it for 1 day, we charge you for 1 day. If you use only 5 shillings, we charge you for 5 shillings. If you use 1 million, we charge you for 1 million. So it's a very good way of managing your short-term liquidity while at the same time ensuring that your portfolio works for you. Now, I'll tell you something very important here. You can decide, actually, and we do advise our clients this way, if I have a limit of 5 million out of my portfolio, I can actually take it and reinvest it. Interesting. So it's like you get money from the bank that you use actually to invest right back. And that's another way of helping you diversify your portfolio. Remember how we said diversification gives you an extra. It's an extra. So if, for example, you invested in Kenya and now you want to invest in the US and you don't have the cash now and the opportunity is now, then what you do is we give you wealth lending so that you're able to get into the American market immediately. So that's how you do it. Let's go to the next slide. And I think that will be my last slide. Okay, so protecting your wealth is as important as creating your wealth. Okay, and I know Kathy has mentioned that so many times because she strongly believes it and because we have actually seen live example of where this actually comes into play. And I know even yourself, you would not be short of examples, especially during this period we've just gone through, very difficult, where we've seen family income, family wealth being wiped off because of an event. And what we do is we look forward and say, what are the lemons of life that can come your way? And we try to mitigate them much earlier. And insurance really plays a very critical role to help you, protect your wealth. Because you can imagine, now, and this is all good. So I will not talk about anything bad. I'll say all good. Your child now has gotten admission to go to Harvard or any of the Ivy School, and you need $60,000. So where would you get that? If you didn't have an education policy for your child, you would have to go and distort your portfolio to get the money out, okay? If, for example, you reach retirement and look, your portfolio, you just set it up like 2 years ago, and now you need cash to use. If you didn't have sort of a retirement plan from an insurance point of view, then again, you would have to dip into your portfolio. Now, I'll come to the not so good things. And usually these are around critical illness. So all our insurance covers come with critical illness and permanent disability covers, which we put in for free to you, because we know something can happen. And in life, we know they do happen. So if an unfortunate event happens, immediately those critical illness cover and the disability cover kicks in immediately and gives you a cash to help you, some hospital bill and anything that you may need. But that does not stop the cover from running through its life. So if it was for children education, the cover will continue, will not ask you for more payment, but the cover will run as if nothing happened. And at the time when the maturity was meant to be, you'll actually get the payoff. And of course, for your convenience, car insurance, home insurance, travel insurance when you're traveling, we're able to offer these, and they are all on the mobile app. So you have that convenience. So I'd like to stop there. I know there's a lot of content that I've actually shared across this evening. I would like to pause there so that I get some questions. Thank you very much for having me. And I look forward to the questions. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Paul, for that insightful session. I think for me, what I'm hearing is at the core, banking at Standard Chartered is simply not just about profit, but it's about personal relationships. So thank you for ensuring that we have the products that go through our life journey as we journey in Earth. So we have a couple of questions for you. First of all, lots of compliments around today's presentation. There's a question around, the investments. Do you help acquire foreign stocks? I think you've been able to speak to that, and I'm sure, we can be able to get a bit more information. The question around the investments, average, what are the returns around some of these investments? If you could sort of give a range so that there's a bit more clarity. And the last one is on the average age of the affluent consumers that, participated in the survey. What sort of age bracket were you looking at? So perhaps you could answer those two questions.
Thank you very much. So in terms of the returns, so remember the question that we put out in terms of some of the poll questions we put out there. What is your approach to investing in terms of how do you perceive investing? Are you averse? Are you moderate? Are you conservative? Are you aggressive? So this is how the answer is. If you're an averse investor, meaning you don't want to get out of the house, so to speak, it's very unlikely that you feel the wind. So, you probably get very little return, right? You probably put your cash in a current account. At the best, you put it in a savings account, and you probably get, 2% at best. If you're, I would say, a moderate investor who will be the middle, okay? Not conservative, not aggressive. What you do is you get what they call the market returns, okay? And these market returns would be, I would say, in the Kenya shilling would be in the range of 9-10%. If you go to the dollar space, you would get somewhere around 5-6 odd% in dollars, right? And some people ask me, okay, is it better to get 10% in shillings than 6% in dollars? And I say, you need both. You need both a dollar investing and you need a Kenya shilling investing. So you need the diversification. Remember what we talk about diversification. So put a portion of it in dollars, get your 5% there, mitigate around currency depreciation and inflation. And of course, have your money also in shillings where you can actually get slightly more return. If you're an aggressive investor, like Paul, pretty much your return goes to anything above 10%. And I've seen investment in the past year, and don't, look, past performance does not indicate future performance, but I've seen some of the funds we have, especially in technology, making upwards of 80% in a year. Actually, there's one fund that did 110 last year. We've seen funds, a couple of funds, especially in the healthcare, doing the range of 40%. We've seen funds in China in the range of 20%. In the US, consumer type investment, doing about 15 odd percent. So the range is big there, and it depends on your appetite for this. If you're a gung-ho person, you want to, get out there, the world has the return for you. Of course, there's more volatility, so the ride will be a little bit choppy, but on average, when you look at a couple of years, like 5 years, the return for aggressive investor is always, historically has always been better than those for moderate investors, and for moderate investors has always been better than for risk-averse investors. So that is the answer. Now, in terms of the next question about who was covered in terms of age group, now our affluent clients, and maybe Kathy can have a better answer than me. So we surveyed our affluent clients. Our age, average age of our affluent client is about 45, 50 there. So that's the group that we surveyed. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paul. The last question is on fees. Are there any administrative fees that come with, especially this foreign investments that you mentioned about? Okay.
The answer is yes. And we disclose all the fees and charges upfront to the client in a very transparent way. So for mutual funds, investing internationally, if you are to access BlackRock funds or Franklin Templeton fund, or Ariane's or Schroders funds, first of all, you would require something at least like $1 million to access them, this type of funds. The second thing is they will charge you 5% to access them, because what they do is they will be taking care of all the administration and everything, how your dividend and investment go back and forth. Now, when you come through the bank, we charge you half of that. So 2.5%, and we reduce your investment entry from what it could be $1 million, so to speak, to just $100,000. To just $1,000. $1,000 is about 100,000 shillings, or $100 per month. So at a very low level, we are able, because of our capability as a bank, to be able to do that. That fee you pay one time for the life of your investment. Even if you want to stay invested for 20 years, that is the only fee you pay. And that fee will take care of, will give you, will make sure we'll custody your investment for free. So we'll not charge you, separate custodial fee like other organizations we know do that. So there are some who will charge you every quarter or every 6 months, they charge you some fee for, keeping your investment safe, so to speak, in a custody, or maintaining a custody account for you. So that will not charge you anything. Also, we will not charge you any fee for routing your money anywhere it goes. If it's investments in the US, we will not charge you for bringing the dividend back to your current account here in Kenya. So all that fee, the bank takes care of, all that cost. And we will not charge you for any advice, including the time that Paul is spending with you today. And all my advisors, they will not charge you a single penny. It will be advice, and you can talk to them as many times as you want to speak to. So for 2.5% of the invested amount, that's it. There's no other fee. That's it.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for that. You know what they say? Don't waste time waiting for inspiration. Begin and inspiration will find you. So thank you for inspiring us into mobilizing our investments to the various products that you have within Standard Chartered. I note that we are coming to the end of our presentation. And so before we close, I'd like to invite our chair, Ms. Catherine Musakali, to give some remarks and also to thank our partner, Standard Chartered, for a wonderful session this evening. So Catherine, karibu sana.
Thank you very, very much, Rose. Good evening, everybody. And thank you for attending the call this evening. I have attended just a bit of it, but the little that I attended was really, really insightful. And so on behalf of the board of Women on Boards Network, I do really want to sincerely thank Standard Chartered for a very well put together session, a very informative session. I have had a relationship with Standard Chartered for a very, very long time. And so I can speak for them anywhere and everywhere I go. And I'm hoping that this really is just the beginning of a very long and good relationship between StanChart and the Women on Boards Network. One thing that I would like to challenge the StanChart team is I want to leave you with this challenge that I would love for us to really work with you together and for you to put together products that are not just juicy, but very palatable for us at Women on Boards Network, for our members. And I can guarantee you that if we find those products, I am sure so many of our members are going to sign on. As you rightly mentioned in your presentations, you do value diversity, and that is what we are all about. We're about diversity and making sure that the current generation and future generations of board members are diverse for the greater performance of the boards that they serve. And so I believe that because we share that common aspiration, that indeed we can work together with the diverse members that we have, with your diverse products, and we can find common areas that we can interact. So thank you so much for coming today. And like I said, I think this is purely just the beginning of a good relationship, and I'm hoping that we are indeed going to keep on collaborating. Before I end, thank you, Rose, for a very well moderated session. Thank you for being there for us and running us through this evening. So good evening, everybody, and thank you very much. For those who are not our members, I invite you to join the Women on Boards Network, and I'm sure Hannah is going to post something about how you can join the Women on Boards Network. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for those remarks. Indeed, we wouldn't have done it without the help of the Secretariat led by Mrs. Wanga, Hannah, and Kantai. Thank you very much for your contribution and for putting this together. So just a couple of announcements before we wrap up. We do have two interesting upcoming events. We do have the 8th annual conference that will be happening on the 24th and the 25th of November. This will be a virtual conference, and the theme is about expanding your horizon. So come learn about various topics and various sessions that are relevant to our careers. The other upcoming event is the Women on Boards Award ceremony that will be held on the 26th of November at Movenpick Residence, Nairobi. It should be starting at 12 noon. So the flyers have gone out. Please register to attend. Come, let's celebrate the accomplishments that women have made within the country. Thank you all for your time. Thank you, Standard Chartered, for taking us through today's session. Indeed, it has been an enlightening one, and we shall continue to engage. Asante sana, keep well, and God bless. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Can you invest in Fortune 500 stores and more? Can you help the planet and boost your wealth? With Standard Chartered Priority Banking, you don't need to stop and think. Investing with us goes further. We connect with global fund managers, select funds that suit your needs, bringing global expertise right here. We connect you to wealth opportunities that match your priorities today.